Hey guys, I'm Jeannie and welcome back to my channel, the place where you get bookish love and a whole lot of random. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my March TBR. Okay guys, so my March TBR is actually rather ambitious. And it's so funny because that was so not intended because I think there's like a challenge or something like that is called Big Books March or something like that. But that sounds funny, Big Books March. It kind of sounds like books are like marching by March big book. I don't know. It's something with reading big books in March, okay? But yeah, my TBR is a little crazy and a little chaotic, but we love that over here. So, if you're interested in finding out the books that I'm reading in March, stick around for this video. So, guys, Jeannie didn't tell you, but there's this one book that she's keeping to the end of the video because in reality, she didn't want to say it from the beginning. So you may want to stick around and see which book that is. And then you know what? You can comment down below at how ridiculous she is. Okay, guys, so one of the books that I'm planning to read in March, and guys, for this video, I am gonna actually hold the book. I know, right? Like, Jeannie holding the books? So the first three books I'm going to talk about are from my Patreon Black Heretics book club picks for March. And guys, I am so excited for this month's book club picks because they're basically all adult fiction. And that's gonna be fun because it's gonna give me at least like a little break from YA fantasy. From YA fantasy. Why I wanna say fantasy. I wanna say fantasy so badly. For it gives me a little break from YA fantasy. There we go. Sometimes with epilepsy, you have to kind of like go slow. Because if not, the words just don't come out. It's weird like that. But anyways, yeah, so they're all adult fiction and I'm pretty excited about getting started with these. The first one, I actually don't have it, so I'll have it right here for you. The first book club pick is A Curse in Ash by Julie Xanthopoulos. I hope I said that right because I kind of looked it up, okay? I did my homework this time. Okay, so from what I know, this book is about a witch and she got like these special powers and there's like people that's coming for her. They are like threatening her life. And then we got this one fae that he's like sticking with her. And then we got like the fiance fae of somebody. And he's also sticking with her because they're like, you know what, boo? We not leaving your side until you stop getting threatened. So yeah, now she got these two males and I'm pretty sure they're hot by her side, like bodyguard status.
I'm here to keep you alive, not help you shop.
Yeah, that's basically for the most part all I can recall about this book. But I hear that it's supposed to have a little spice in there. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this one because my lovely, lovely, lovely boo bear, Emily, over at M Reads, I'll have her channel linked down below. She is also part of my Patreon. And she kind of told me that she was getting me that book because she really, really wants to read it with me, which I appreciate. So thank you, Emily. Love you, girl. The next Patreon March book club pick is Imaginary Friend by Stefan Chbosky. And guys, this one, I am pretty excited that it was chosen. For this one, we are basically following a single mother. Her name is Kate, and she has a son. His name is Christopher. And they kind of like flee because Kate was in like this abusive relationship, and she was like, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm tired of your bullshit. I'm out the door. She kind of flees with her son to this like town where she kind of feels safe and welcome. There's nice people there and things like that. Now, the thing is that then eventually Christopher goes missing. And when he returns kind of a little weird, okay? And the thing is that nobody can hear what's going on or what's being said to Christopher. And he has this mission that those voices is telling him that he has to build a treehouse. Yeah, guys, a treehouse. Out of all the things, right? Out of all the things an evil being or ghost or demon can ask for, they want a treehouse. I don't know. I guess with that, I'm gonna find out. But the thing is that they are threatening that if he don't make that treehouse for them, they coming for him. They coming for him. They coming for the town. They coming for the mom. They coming. They are coming for him. So yeah, that's the genie summary of Imaginary Friend. So the third book that my Patreon voted on is Empire of the Vampire. Guys, if you couldn't tell the way I said that, right? I am excited for this book. Like, I tried to read it before in November and I never got to because I was just trying to throw this in there when I had a lot of other books that I was trying to finish before the end of the year. So when this got chosen and suggested, I was like, yes, I'm so excited. Genie, collect yourself. Calm down. It's just a vampire. That's the point, right? It's just a vampire. And not even just, okay? It is a vampire. But anyways, from the little bit that I know about this book is that we are following this vampire. And his name is Gabriel de Leon. I kind of want to say it like more dramatic. Okay, let's pull out the Spanish. Here we go. Gabriel de Leon. You see how that made a difference? It made it so much more dramatic. And he is like the last silver saint, which is like holy brotherhood or something like that, and their mission is to, I guess, look for the monsters and kill them, right? He gets captured and then he has to kind of like tell his story. They want him to tell his story, and yeah, that's basically it. From what I'm getting out of this, it kind of reminds me of like Interview with the Vampire vibes with the whole telling your story type thing. So let's see how it goes, and I'm excited for it because if anybody knows, and you probably don't know, but I love Interview with the Vampire. Okay, that's like one of my favorites. So this is kind of giving me that vibe.
Life without me would be even more unbearable.
Okay, so now the next 3 books I'm going to talk about are actually from my TBR Knockout Challenge. And this challenge is a challenge that I kind of go more into detail in this video. I'll link it up above and down below. Basically, what I did was, what I'm doing is that I am having a number generator pick out which books I am reading from my physical TBR back here. And yeah, so these are the books that number generator generated for me. So here we go. So book number 52 from my bookshelf is Fruit of the Drunken Tree by Ingrid Rojas Contreras. It just made better sense to say it in Spanish. At least in my brain, it was just like, yeah, we saying this in Spanish. So in this one, if I'm not mistaken, we are taking a journey with a girl named Chula, who comes from Bogota, Colombia. And basically, this is around the time when there's a lot of kidnappings, car bombings. The drug lord Pablo Escobar is like the thing. He's like making his way in headlines and stuff. And then there's this woman, her name was Petrona, who kind of like hires Chula to be a maid or something like that. Then there's like a secret that they entangled themselves in. So yeah, that's what this is about. And I'm pretty excited to take a journey to Colombia. That's gonna be fun. And this is a Latinx author as well, and I am living for that. The next book that the random generator picked for me is book number 88, and that was Anger is a Gift by Mark Oshiro. And I really don't know nothing about this book. Quite honestly, I bought it because I heard so many good things about it. So in this one, we're following Moss, who lost his father due to a police shooting, I believe it is. And because of that, he deals with panic attacks and anxiety and just being afraid all the time. Now, the thing is that Moss is going to a school where the infrastructure is bad and like there's not like enough funding, and they're kind of treated like criminals. And eventually, the teens are just like, enough is enough. We need to speak out, but who's really going to listen to us? And Moss starts to think like, am I going to keep being afraid, or am I going to use anger as a gift? I'm excited to get into this one and find out more about how Moss ends up handling that situation. So the last book that the number generator picked out for me is book number 111. And that book was Heartless by Marissa Mayer. And I'm excited to finally be reading this, guys, because this was on my bookshelf for a long time, okay? So in this one, we're following Catherine, who lives in Wonderland, and she is set to like be married to the king, but she's actually attracted to another guy who's kind of like, I guess, like a peasant, what they consider a peasant at the time. And she decides like, hey, you know what? I really want to be with this dude. So we're going to just have a secret courtship on the side and love each other like we want to. Now, the thing is that, will that work out for them when they live in Wonderland where there's like monsters and craziness and, we seen the movie, right? So
Flip their heads!
Who knows? I guess I'll find out if they end up surviving. And yeah, I'm super excited to be reading this. You see? This is why you guys should join me with my TBR knockout, because look at that. Like, the number generator picks a book for me, and now I finally get to read it. And another thing I wanted to say in regards to like the TBR knockout, you can actually still join me if you would like to. This is something that is taking place in the Shadowfold, which is my Patreon. So if you're interested in joining and supporting me as a content creator, I have that link down below for you. I would love for you to join us so we can have fun knocking out this TBR that we have had sitting on our shelves. Okay, hang in there with me because we're almost done. And also, you might see me reaching over here just because that's where I have the books stacked. So yeah. So anyways, the first book that I'm thinking of reading in March is Jane Eyre, and it's by Charlotte Bronte. And you would think that I would know that from so many times that I've heard or seen this book, but yeah. This one is actually a manga, and I'm so excited to actually get into this one because, yeah, I mean, a classic into manga form. I think that's probably the best way for me to read classics. At the moment. Okay, so I don't really know too much about this, and I remember I spoke a little bit about it for my library vlog. If you would like to check that one out, I'll have it linked up above and also linked down below. But this one is basically about Jane Eyre, who was like an orphan child, and she eventually, I guess, grows up and meets Mr. Rochester, and that's like, I guess, the love of her life or something like that. But he kind of has hidden secrets within the estate. So that sounds interesting to me, and I'm super excited to get started on this one. And yeah, that's Jane Eyre. Another book that I would like to read in March is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. All right, guys. So I know you guys have seen this before. Yeah, it was in my February TBR video. As you can see, it made its grand debut again on my March TBR. However, this time around, I do plan on reading it. At least that's the goal. That's the mindset I'm going in with. So this one is a classic, and it's taking us back to the 1920s jazz age era. And we get to meet Jay Gatsby, who happens to be like this rich man who throws all these lavish parties, and that's basically all it is to know about this. Oh, and he has a love for this girl named Daisy, and this was around the time when gin was a national drink and sex the national obsession. So this one sounds pretty interesting, and I am hoping that I get to get into this one this month. So the next book I'm planning to read in March is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Hanya Naragihara. There we go. Hopefully I said that right. Okay, guys. So as you can see by the bookmark dangling, I did start this at one point. I believe it was like in the fall, and I never got to finish it. And mind you, I didn't reach the difficult parts yet. Because from what I hear, this book is very hard to read. And not like hard to read, like, it's difficult, like the sentencing and stuff, but more so like emotionally, that it's gonna hit you with them feels, and people have cried and not been able to read for a bit after. I don't know if necessarily that's a very good thing for me to do when I have a Patreon, and yeah. But I definitely want to finally finish this book, and in this other server that I'm in, they're doing a buddy read for it. So I figured, you know what? I think I'll do it as a buddy read with them, and I'll hope to get through it easier since I'm reading it with more people. So basically, this one is about 4 college friends who moved to New York, and we got like their stories and things that they deal with. But the main thing that they realize is that Jude, which is like one of the main characters here, is a lot more, like there's a lot more going on with him than they thought. And yeah, we're taking that journey and finding out what happened to Jude, because he had a traumatic childhood and he's still dealing with that trauma today. Yeah, I plan to finish this. My goal is to finish this. And if you're interested in seeing a vlog on this, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm thinking about it, but then I'm like, do people want to see me ugly cry for the billionth time? I mean, maybe, maybe. I am excited to continue to learn about Jude, and hopefully things get better for him by the end. All right, guys. So, when I show this book, do not come for me, okay? Or maybe you should. You know what? I'll give you permission. Come for me in the comments, all right? Maybe that will get me to finally finish this book. All right, guys, are you ready for it? I don't know if I should share this. I wasn't going to, actually, but you know what? Fuck it. Here we are, and we're doing it. A book that I want to make sure I finish in March is Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. And I'm sorry for the little camera movement. That was Milo. Guys, look, guys, look. Okay, like I am almost there. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Why is it that, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just haven't been like in the mood to like really read this for some reason. And look, I literally just have like a little bit left, like 100. I want to say like 150 pages, maybe 125. I don't know, but yeah, I have to finish this. Okay, if you don't know, this is the last book in the Throne of Glass series, and there's really nothing that I can say about it because then I'd be spoiling you. But yeah, I gotta finish this. You know what, guys? Keep me accountable. Okay, keep me accountable. Check up on me. Do whatever you have to. I gotta finish this book already. I started it in December. Okay? And I do have a valid, excuse for not finishing it then because I did have a seizure. And yeah, when I have a seizure, it takes time for me to recover. It's hard for me to read after. Because there's just a lot that happens and a lot that happens in my brain at the time of a seizure. So yeah, I needed time to recover, and then so basically in January I started reading it a little more, but then I don't know what happened. I just kind of stopped. I guess I lost like that momentum. So hopefully I can knock this out because I need to finish this already.
Do it! Just do it!
But yeah, she's still on my TBR. And hopefully in April, I can give you guys the good news that I finished. Let's see. Okay, guys, let me know in the comments below what you thought of my March TBR. Is it ambitious enough? Is it a piece of cake for you? Let me know. Also, I'd like to know what is on your March TBR. And if you'll be joining me with my TBR knockout challenge, I would love that. If you made it to the end of the video, leave this emoji down below. Thank you so much for watching it to the end. I love you so much. If you'd like to support me further, I have a Patreon. It's called The Shadow Fold. And yeah, it's where all darkness and chaos and all of this fun stuff happens in the fold. So you may want to join. If you like the sound of that, I have that all linked down below. And yeah, I love you guys so much. And remember to sprinkle kindness and love everywhere you go. And see you in my next video. Bye.